My friend, there is something I've learned after many years of working with older patients. High blood pressure doesn't rise in a single day, and it doesn't fall just because of one pill. Blood pressure is like a very particular friend. If you treat it gently and understand it properly, it will slowly become easier to live with. But if you ignore it for too long, it will send you very serious warnings. I remember Raymond, 72, looking at me and saying, "James, I take my medication every day, but I still feel heavy and tired all the time." I asked him what he ate each day, and from that conversation, an important truth became clear. Food doesn't just fill us up, it shapes the way our heart functions. Modern science shows us that there are some very simple, everyday foods that can naturally help lower blood pressure by relaxing blood vessels, balancing sodium and potassium, reducing inflammation, and helping the heart beat more gently. And the beautiful thing is you don't need anything fancy or expensive. Just by changing what you put on your plate each day, you can give your heart an incredible gift. In today's video, I want to walk you through 9 foods that have helped many of my patients. People who used to feel worried and exhausted, but later found a gentle balance in their bodies. Let's see, how many of these are already in your kitchen? 1. Leafy greens, the gentle gift that eases blood pressure day by day. My friend, some foods are like kind, quiet friends. They don't show off, they don't demand attention, but they're always there when you truly need them. Leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, and lettuce are exactly those kinds of friends on your journey to naturally lower blood pressure. I remember one of my patients, Richard, 72. He told me, "James, I take my medication regularly, but my blood pressure still goes up and down. Sometimes it feels like my heart is saying it's tired." I looked at him gently, placed my hand on his shoulder, and asked, "How long has it been since you had a real plate of vegetables?" He laughed, a little embarrassed. "Probably a long time." Leafy greens are rich in potassium, a mineral that helps balance sodium in the blood, and sodium is the silent culprit behind high blood pressure in many older adults. When your body has enough potassium, your blood vessels can relax and the pressure inside them begins to ease like a river that finally flows more smoothly after a heavy rain. Leafy greens also provide natural nitrates, which help widen blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce the workload on the heart, a benefit many people don't realize. I still remember the moment Richard came back after 6 weeks. He said, "James, I didn't change much. I just added more greens to my dinner. But every morning when I check my blood pressure, it feels calmer." And his eyes carried a peace I hadn't seen in him for a long time. My friends, sometimes what brings your heart peace is not something big. It's just a plate of green vegetables, simple, gentle, but powerful enough to soften what's been tense inside your body. 2. Avocado, the healthy fat friend that helps your heart breathe easier. My friends, some foods bring a sense of calm just by looking at them. For me, avocado is one of those soft, soothing, full of energy, yet never loud. What many of my patients don't know is that avocado is one of the heart's quiet allies when it comes to blood pressure. I remember Daniel, 72, a kind man who constantly worried about his fluctuating blood pressure. During a visit, he said, "James, I'm taking my pills, but my blood pressure still jumps around. What else can I do?" I asked about his eating habits, and like many older adults, he was afraid of fats. When I suggested he eat half an avocado a day, he frowned. "Fat can be good," I smiled. "If it comes from avocado, it's a gift for your heart." Avocado is rich in monounsaturated fats, the kind that helps lower bad cholesterol, LDL, and raise good cholesterol, HDL. That means cleaner arteries, smoother blood flow, and more stable blood pressure. If you picture your blood vessels as a river, it becomes easier to understand. When the river is wide and clear, the pressure is calm. When it narrows because of buildup and debris, the pressure rises day by day. Avocado also contains potassium, which helps balance sodium and gently relax the vessel walls like a soft hand, easing tension from your circulatory system. 2 months later, when Daniel returned, he sat down in front of me with a calm, relieved look in his eyes. "James, I'm not saying I'm cured, but my blood pressure is definitely more stable now." And I knew it wasn't just the avocado, it was his patience and willingness to care for himself. My friend, sometimes what your body needs isn't something complicated, but a small, loving choice. A slice of avocado at breakfast might be the gentle gift your heart has been waiting for all this time. 3. Beets, the quiet artist that opens blood vessels and lowers pressure naturally. My friend, if there's one food that always makes me smile when I mention it, it's beets. Not just because of their beautiful red color, but because I've seen so many older adults transform their health with just one glass of beet juice a day. I remember Ricardo, 72, a good-hearted man who had battled high blood pressure for years. He told me, James, I'm tired of so many pills. I wish there were something more natural that could help me. I put my hand on his shoulder and said, Ricardo, there is something completely natural. You can hold it in your hand and it's as red as your own heart. Beets contain natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a remarkable molecule that relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and reduces pressure on the arterial walls. Think of it as widening a narrow, congested road so that traffic can finally move freely again. After just 2 weeks of drinking half a glass of beet juice each morning, Ricardo came back and said, James, for the first time in months, my blood pressure went down without increasing my medication. And I believe you may feel that shift too, not suddenly but steadily, like an artist patiently painting a healthier picture from the inside out. The wonderful thing is that beets don't require anything complicated. You can juice them, steam them, add them to salads, or blend them into your morning smoothie. All they ask is consistency, gentle, regular care, just like the way they care for your heart. My friends, sometimes what helps your blood pressure calm down is not something grand. It's a small, bright red beet quietly saying, let me help clear the way so your blood can flow freely again. 4. Tomatoes, the red shield that protects your heart and steadies your pressure. My friends, some foods don't just nourish the body, they nurture peace of mind. For me, tomatoes are one of those simple, bright, and more powerful than most people realize, especially after they turn 60 or 70. I remember Lorraine, 72. She once told me she never saw tomatoes as healing food. She said, James, I just eat them because they make my salad look nicer. But when her blood pressure started becoming unstable, I suggested she add tomatoes to her daily meals. A light glass of tomato juice in the morning, a few slices at lunch, or a warm bowl of tomato soup in the evening. What she didn't know and what many people overlook is that tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a potent antioxidant that helps blood vessels relax and lets blood flow more smoothly. When blood flows easily, the pressure on the vessel walls decreases, and that's when blood pressure begins to stabilize naturally gently. Tomatoes also contain potassium, which helps balance salt in the body. For older adults, this imbalance between sodium and potassium is a silent reason blood pressure rises. And you know what? Even one small tomato can help your body release some of the excess salt, quietly straining your heart and kidneys. 2 months later, Lorraine returned with a ripe red tomato in her hand and a smile on her face. James, I brought this to say, thank you. I feel lighter, less tense. I think my heart is grateful for this little gift too. My friends, sometimes what keeps your heart healthy isn't an expensive drug. It's the soft red of a tomato, ordinary, familiar, but strong enough to help your blood pressure settle over time. 5. Ginger, the warm friend that helps your blood vessels relax. My friends, some foods not only nourish the body, but also touch our emotions in a very special way. Ginger is one of those. A small, humble piece of ginger carries the warmth of the earth, the simplicity of old family meals, and a kind of healing that older adults can feel from the very first sip. I remember Peter, 72, who had lived with high blood pressure for many years. He told me that every morning his head felt heavy, his legs felt cold, and his heartbeat was uncomfortable, like it was running for no reason. When I asked what he usually drank in the morning, he simply shook his head. Just coffee, James. Lots of coffee. I smiled and suggested he replace one of those cups of coffee with a warm cup of ginger tea. Ginger contains gingerol, a natural compound that helps blood vessels dilate, reduces spasms, and supports better circulation. This is especially important for people with high blood pressure, because when the vessels are more flexible and relaxed, the heart doesn't have to strain as hard to pump blood through the body. I remember clearly the day Peter came back after 6 weeks. He sat down wearing a calm smile I had never seen on him before. James, he said, my mornings feel lighter. My head is less tense, my heart isn't racing like before. Who would have thought just one cup of ginger tea could do that? Ginger is not a magic cure, but it is the warmth your blood vessels have been needing. It's a small flame that helps your body unwind. A reminder that sometimes the simplest, most rustic things make the biggest difference. My friend, if you're looking for natural ways to lower your blood pressure, give your body the chance to feel the warmth of ginger. No noise, no drama, just gentle care, the kind you truly deserve every single day. 6. Walnuts, the silent guardian of your blood vessels and blood pressure. My friend, there are some foods so small that you can easily overlook them among hundreds of choices every day. But sometimes it's exactly those tiny things that carry a quiet, steady power, just like the way walnuts care for your heart and blood pressure. I remember Franklin, 72, who came to see me and joked, "James, if you make me eat nuts, I'm going to turn into a squirrel." We both laughed, but then I explained something to him that I also want to share with you today. Walnuts are not just a snack, they are a gift to your blood vessels. Every walnut contains plant-based omega-3s, a healthy fat that helps soften the vessel walls, reduce inflammation, and improve their elasticity. When blood vessels relax, blood pressure naturally starts to come down like a river that calms after flowing too hard for too long. Many of my patients tell me they don't notice a dramatic change overnight, but they feel very real shifts over time: deeper sleep, less tension in the head, less of that heavy, tight chest feeling at the end of the day. Another special thing about walnuts is that they contain arginine, an amino acid that helps the body produce nitric oxide, a compound that widens blood vessels in the most natural way. Just as widening a narrow road helps traffic move more smoothly, nitric oxide helps blood flow more easily and reduces pressure on the vessel walls. After 2 months of eating 4 to 6 walnuts a day, Franklin came back with a noticeably lighter look in his eyes. "James, I never thought my blood pressure monitor would finally start behaving. And I believe that because the body always finds a way to respond to genuine care. My friend, if the heart is the rhythm of life, then blood pressure is the breath of your blood vessels. Let those little walnuts become part of your daily journey to make that breath softer and easier." 7. Bananas, the humble friend that helps your heart feel lighter and your blood pressure more stable. My friend, some foods look so ordinary that we never realize how powerful they truly are. Bananas are one of those simple blessings, a fruit almost every home has, yet often overlooked in the journey of caring for blood pressure. I remember Patrick, 72, who came to my clinic looking worried. He said, "James, my blood pressure keeps going up and down. I take my pills, but I still feel tired." I asked what he had for breakfast. He smiled: bread and coffee. Quick and easy, I gently put my hand on his shoulder and said, "Patrick, give your body a gentler chance. Start with just one banana each morning." Bananas are rich in potassium, a mineral that helps your body get rid of excess sodium, the silent culprit behind rising blood pressure. When sodium levels drop, blood vessels can relax, the pressure in them eases, and the heart doesn't have to work so hard. I often tell my patients, potassium is the friend that pulls you away from the tension you can't see. After 3 weeks, Patrick came back with his familiar, gentle smile. "James, I don't know if it's the banana, but my head feels clearer and my heartbeat feels calmer." I smiled and replied, "The body is always grateful for the small things you do for it." Bananas also provide fiber, vitamin B6, and natural energy that helps stabilize blood sugar and reduce fatigue, two factors closely linked to blood pressure fluctuations in older adults. My friend, if you're looking for a simple, tasty, and easy way to support your blood pressure, think of the banana. One banana each morning, humble and gentle, but enough to bring a more peaceful day to your heart. Wow, 8. Blueberries, the little recovery berries that help your heart and blood pressure breathe easier. My friends, some fruits are so small you can hold them in the palm of your hand, yet they carry a strength your whole body will be grateful for. Blueberries are one of those small miracles. I often call them tiny stars, not just because they're beautiful and delicious, but because they ease the burdens your heart and blood vessels have carried for so many years. I remember Dorothy, 72, a lovely patient who lived with a constant fear that her blood pressure would suddenly spike. She told me that every time she climbed the stairs, her chest felt heavier, her breathing became shorter, and she never truly felt safe with her own heart. One day I suggested she add blueberries to her breakfast. She widened her eyes. "Just a little fruit." "James, can that really help?" I simply smiled. "Give it a try." Nature has its own ways of healing. Even medicine sometimes has to sit quietly and watch. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, compounds that help relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce pressure inside the arteries. Imagine your blood vessels as tiny roads. When they widen and function properly, everything flows more smoothly, and blood pressure comes down naturally gently. After a few weeks, Dorothy returned with a soft, breezy smile. "James, I feel like I can breathe more easily. I walk longer without being afraid of my blood pressure." I looked at her with a special warmth because I knew I was witnessing a quiet but very real transformation. Blueberries are not magic, but they are a reminder that sometimes health comes from soft, small things, from a simple bowl of berries in the morning, from the care you give your own heart. My friend, if you can let a handful of blueberries become a daily gentle habit, your body will thank you in ways you can feel little by little. 9. Whole corn. Steady energy that helps your blood pressure settle down. My friend, there are some foods that seem completely ordinary, yet bring a gentle power to the body, especially after 60 or 70. Whole corn is one of those simple foods I often encourage my patients to add to their meals. I remember Harold, 72, who once complained that his blood pressure rose and fell like winter weather in Chicago. When I asked what he ate for breakfast, he laughed and said, "James, I just grab whatever's quick." I softly replied, "Maybe your body is asking for something slower, more stable." Whole corn contains soluble fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity, both very important for keeping blood pressure stable. When blood sugar swings wildly, blood pressure usually follows. But when your body receives energy slowly and gently, your blood pressure often becomes calmer as well. Corn is also rich in potassium and magnesium, two minerals that help widen blood vessels, reduce pressure on the vessel walls, and support smoother heart function. Think of them as quiet workers widening the roads so your blood can move more freely. After a few weeks of swapping his sweet pastries for a bowl of boiled whole corn with a bit of olive oil, Harold came back with a gentle smile. "James, I don't know why, but my blood pressure doesn't spike as often anymore." I replied, "Sometimes the body just needs stability, and that often comes from very simple things." My friend, whole corn is not an expensive superfood. It's just a humble grain, but it carries warmth and stability, exactly what your blood pressure has been needing. A gentle closing message. My friend, the journey of caring for your blood pressure is not really a battle against disease. It is a journey back to your own body. These 9 foods are not instant miracles, but they are quiet companions, helping your heart beat more steadily, softly, and resiliently with each passing year. I have always believed this. Your body responds to what you give it. When you nourish it with the right choices each day, a banana, a handful of nuts, a warm drink, a greener plate, your heart will thank you in a language you can feel in every breath. If these reflections brought you peace, a bit of hope, or simply the feeling that you are not alone on this path to better health, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Heal Fit Health. Not to chase numbers, but so we can keep it meeting each other through future videos, gently and consistently, building a healthier life together. Hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and keep walking with me, because you deserve to live healthy today, tomorrow, and for many years to come.